a share, please. Share the love. Let everyone know. What's up, Patterson?
That was awesome that he came in this weekend.
Yeah.
It made my week.
Everyone thought he lived nearby.
Yeah, I thought he was like in McKinney, New Mexico.
Howdy, Rob. Thanks for joining.
Crusaders. Share it out if you guys are. Let's talk cigars.
I always tempted to do it there, but I don't. Since we don't talk about guns, I don't ever share it out.
Yeah.
How?
I mean, there's a few guys in there.
Some of those guys. Some of those groups. Like, oh, this isn't. Yeah.
That weather, man.
Oh, it's really
cool. Yeah. Well, except for the wind. I know you're
The wind, yeah, we played today, and it was the wind.
It's got to be brutal.
It was. It was not the course to have wind blow your ball 20 yards in one direction or another. We should probably share this to Texas pellet smokers.
There you go. 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Just a touch, Peter.
I'm gonna start.
So they're cracking a beer. What's our lag time?
Like
You're 10 seconds.
10.
That's live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's about 5 seconds behind.
Cool. Live on Instagram. We are live, guys.
Excellent.
Hey, welcome to Cigar Talk. I'm not Brandon.
You are not Brandon.
I'm not Brandon either.
You're definitely not Brandon. I'm probably closely to Brandon. Evening, fellas. How's everybody doing? Let's. We gotta do our honorary high five. We gotta do our honorary toast.
Cheers.
And this is to my grandbaby, Leah Presley.
Yes.
Congratulations,
The reason that Brandon is not here tonight is because he brought a baby home tonight, or actually this afternoon. Precious little Leah Presley Frakes was born Saturday, and healthy, and mom's healthy, and all the fingers are there, all the toes are there. She's just precious. Watching her little brother and sister love on her and hug on her is just
the pictures that Brandon posted yesterday.
Oh my God.
Alessia holding her and Elias there. Those were.
It's
I'm not crying. You're crying.
I'm not crying. It's allergies are just crazy this time of year. Of course, this evening the gentlemen are partaking in Lone Elm, and this is the single batch, 90 proof, straight wheat whiskey.
Yes.
I was going to throw Texas in there. So you guys went down for the tour at Lone Elm.
Yeah.
So it's right outside of Dallas, right?
Right, down in Forney.
Okay.
There was about 8 of us from Industrial that went down there. They gave us a great private tour, showed us their process. We got to go out to the barrel barns and look at the barrels. And then they also did a tasting for us. We got to taste all of their whiskeys plus their vodka. and then made a couple of special cocktails for us.
Nice.
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really good. It's way out there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? When you're driving up, you're like, am I in the right place?
Yeah.
But it's a great place, and they had some food and other vendors out there. But Amy Porter really took care of us, and it was a great experience.
Awesome. Well, it is Cigar Talk Live. It's Tuesday night. We are without Brandon. I'm Pops from Industrial Cigars in Frisco, Texas. We have with us Chris Pennington, who is the lowest paid employee that we have here. He's actually not even on the books, but he comes in and works his tail off. So Chris is here. He's also the co-star of Tales in the Lounge. Of course, Ron is the real talent there.
Right.
And of course, we have Adrian with Cigars and Guns.
Yeah.
So let us know where you're coming in from. We already know Larry Adams is coming in from LaGrange, Missouri. We see some other people that are on here. So by all means, let us know what you got going on today. Let me turn off my audio so I'm not listening to my nasally voice again. So talk about Cigars and Guns has a Shirt of the Month club.
Yeah.
And this one is America AF with the Cigars and Guns logo on it. It's got a little industrial cigars on the base. I like that color. Is that salmon?
It's actually red heather, but depending on when you look at it, it looks different colors.
Yeah.
But this was a collaboration with Industrial Cigar. Brandon showed me the designs that he created for the America's AF smoke show that we had just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But he basically said, "Hey, why don't we make that the design?" I was like, "Perfect. I would love it if it's perfect."
Yeah.
And then so y'all made some shirts, but I included the design with the hexagon.
Very nice.
But it's so cool.
I love that look, that blue look. So explain your Shirt of the Shirt of the Month club. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
One of the things that I never do is I always want to wear a T-shirt, but I don't go buy T-shirts because they're so overpriced.
They are.
I went into the store the other day and I looked at these Tommy Bahama T-shirts.
Yeah.
$90. And there's just something that tells me I can't spend $90 on a T-shirt. But you get to just sign up and you just send us a T-shirt every month.
Yeah, the Cigars and Guns Shirt Club. It's $25 a month. You sign up and you'll get a secret shirt every month.
You don't know what it is until it pops out of the bag.
That's right.
That's awesome.
And then some of the guys, I'll get it delivered and they'll
Mine was hand delivered last night. So as soon as I got it,
well, you are who you are. You are who you are. So we got Zach Patterson is in, and let me just say this: what a great guy! He came in Saturday. Of course, me being oblivious to everything. Plus, it was Saturday. So I came down after the baby was born, and we kind of had this gap where we couldn't get in to see the baby. So I thought, well, I got to come in and have a couple cigars. And I'm sitting there, and Zach introduces himself. Brought a gift for Brandon, which was outstanding. Of course, any father really should have moonshine.
Right.
And that's something to share with
Brandon took it on last night.
Sure, yeah, and I'm sure
prepared for the baby coming
getting prepared. He'll sleep one way or the other. But Zach came in, and I'll tell you what, he clearly watches the show because he put together an assortment of product that filled up a bag that was.
That's awesome.
It is the bag we would have recommended if he just said, "Here's a bunch of money, go in and fill it up." But the assortment they had, the great guy got a chance to experience the culture here at ICC. He got the light version of what Larry and Julie had an experience here. So just appreciate you coming in. I'm sitting here thinking he's living in like McKinney, and I'm like, "So Zach, where do you live?" And he's like, "Hobbs, New Mexico." I'm like, "Gee, but Chris was saying, to get to Hobbs, New Mexico, you have to drive across the state of Texas."
That's great.
Which is the size of most countries. If you're in Europe, you'll go through 3 countries.
Yeah,
at least the amount of time that you're zipping through across Texas. So. Zach, it was great to meet you, and thank you. And Brandon, of course, thanks you. Hopefully, he's either watching or changing diapers right now, but he's trying to break away and work. I see a bunch of other names. John Harrison.
He wants to know how he gets the shirt you're wearing.
Of course,
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I just make these for myself. Obviously, just to have. I mean, yeah. I mean, these are one of those like they call fishing shirts. And I just had my logo put on, but
yeah. It looks to me like you got the beginning of a bowling team going on there.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. So it's Tuesday night, and I'm telling you, I don't know if there was like bomb threats in Frisco, but the private lounge is full. The public lounge is empty right now. So it just goes to show you when people are football hungover, they're just not getting out and running the streets. So, but yeah, very, very fun couple of days. It's good to see football back. I mean, how nice is it to finally have? I mean, I still say, bad preseason football still better than the best baseball game. So, and I know I have baseball fans out there that hate me for that, but
I agree with you. I feel the same, but I also feel the same about golf. I know you love golf.
Yeah,
I can't watch it.
It's definitely. I mean, if you get into golf, it would be like guns. Mm-hmm. If I'm starting to get into guns, I would want to watch how the best shooters shoot, so I can maybe take something away. So I'm always thinking I'm going to pick up a tip from a golfer on TV, but it never really ever happens. So, so anyway, it's been a whirlwind of a week, and we are obviously without Brandon. So if you have any questions, of course, if you're coming into us from a foreign country like Chicago, let us know where you're coming in at. We'll say good evening to you in your native tongue. And Kevin is in from Georgia. Kevin, he just ordered a bunch of stuff for, I think his brother-in-law or somebody is getting married. So he just ordered a bunch of cigars and sent me a request of what he should do. Julie is in. Cool. Good evening. Good day, miss. Yep. So yeah, everybody is in. We're rocking. We're getting excited for Hack Fest.
It's getting closer.
I was this close to not making it because I was going to be out of town in Phoenix. That event had COVID or whatever, so they canceled it. So I'm in.
Now you're back in.
I'm back in.
Well, our good friend Oliver, who makes sure that we have all the Atabays and Byrons that we need.
Nice.
Oliver was scheduled for a big event in Seattle and actually called him up and said, "No, I'm going to stop in Dallas, go to ICC, and we'll do an event some other time." So he's going to come in for the event. So we added a ton of people. I think right now the event's over 100, and that's huge. We went to a corporate golf tournament today, and when your business is paying for a foursome and all that other stuff, it's pretty easy to fill it up because they're just trying to fill up groups.
Yeah.
But in this case, everybody's in their pocket. And for 100 golfers, right now at 100, we have room for 144. But 100 golfers, it's going to be a massive event. I think I saw Brandon said there's 3 or 4 spirits companies involved. Lone Elm is at Hotel Tango, I know are involved.
Nice.
Lone Elm is just like going in the deep end with this.
That's going to be a good relationship for sure.
So they actually get this. So for those of you that like whiskey, I know that like someone say whiskey. These guys, when there's a barrel pick, these people lose their mind. They go sit in front of liquor stores. They'll fly to another state and stand in front of a liquor store at sunup to make sure that they get one of these bottles, right? So Amy Porter, love her to death. She's with Lone Elm. They have a smaller barrel, a series of barrels that are smaller barrels. Our friends at Someone Say Whiskey, Rodney is going to come in, sample the 3 different samples that they gave us, and then they're going to pull the bottles out and make them available to the people at Hackfest. So a Lone Elm barrel pick, limited edition, 1-shot barrel, and the only place you can get it is if you're at that event. Yeah. That's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy.
So not only that, but isn't Distretto going to be there on the 19th hole? A little bit of pick me up before you get started with some of their special brew stuff.
Yeah, you think about it. Sun will come up. You're drinking Distretto coffee that's spiked. Mm-hmm. You're lighting your cigar while it's still dark out, and then the day begins. I mean, it's gonna be an absolute blast. I know Larry's coming in. You have somebody coming in from Florida.
Yep. Nice.
Of course, we have manufacturing stuff coming in. We have 10 cigar manufacturers. I just had to turn 2 away. 10 cigar manufacturers. This is $150. Every penny goes to the Gary Sinise Foundation. Gary Sinise, Lieutenant Dan, builds homes, smart homes for vets that lose a limb. They're specially chosen. Our Brandon Myers, our general manager, has received one of these homes. So our way of giving back to Gary is to do these. He receives 100% of the proceeds. So it's an amazing amount of work that goes on, but we do this not for the money at all. 100% of the proceeds go to Gary Sinise. Last year, I think we did 20 or 30,000. We want to obviously do more than that this year, but this event is shaping up to be. It's a Caddyshack theme event. It's the opposite of serious golfers. Amy is doing a deal where if you come in costume, which we already know your costume, if you come in costume, you have a chance to win some stuff. Tell us about this firearm/golf ball shooter thing.
Yeah, this happened super quickly. It was not like I said. I almost didn't go to the Hackfest, but had a conversation with Dave's son Andrew. He's a professional golfer, PGA. Anyways, he asked me just a random question. Hey, where can I find a golf ball launcher? Basically, shooting a golf ball from a gun. And I was like, these guys sell one. I sent him the link. He's like, yeah, I don't have time to buy it right now or anything, but I wanted to see if someone had one readily available. And I said, hold my beer. So I bought
typical angry.
Yeah, I bought one, and I'll test fire next week with one of our private members, JP. And so we're going to have a golf ball launcher at the event at the Hackfest.
It shoots the ball like 350 yards or something.
Yeah.
So, and then I understand we're putting targets out in the fairway.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
Shoot at the targets. And if you hit the target, you get to play the ball as if you hit it with your club.
Yep.
But the ball's going to go 350 yards, and other than Andrew, nobody can do that. So the ball's going to go 350 yards, but we're going to have targets out in the fairway for you to hit as well for chances to win mega prizes. So if there's a reason to get on a plane, get in your car, get in, grab the wife, leave the kids and dogs at home, and get your ass here, this is the event. It's going to be stellar.
Yeah.
It is going to be stellar, and this gun thing is going to be.
I'm super excited. I've shot a golf ball launcher before, but on your basic AR. I'm going to have a special AR for this event.
Of course, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, and if I know anything, every time you guys do an event, the next time you follow it up with the same event, the stakes are raised. The bar gets raised every time. And last year was so much fun. You do not want to miss this event. So if you haven't signed up, I highly encourage you to sign up. Whether you've played golf or not, it's not for, like Dave said, it's not for, we're not doing, the best score. In fact, didn't you guys say if someone comes in with a ridiculously good score, you got to shred
we'll shred their score. Because there will be none of that. So, so we got Mark Meyer in. We got a bunch of guys that are in. We might actually talk about cigars tonight. Last week was I'm no longer a pipe virgin.
Oh yeah.
I got a chance to do a pipe. I really enjoyed it.
Yep.
We got the rest of our pipes in this week. We got a bunch of tobacco, and little I know, they're selling. I mean, a lot of it is selling. So I'm starting to nerd out. I receive whenever I get an opportunity to buy limited edition cigars. We buy as much as we can. A pipe company sends me this limited edition Halloween series that they only make 800 pipes. But what was cool was they were red with some black, and they had some chrome and some other stuff on them. And they're really, really cool. So I've got I think 10 or 12 of the different shapes that are coming in. But it screamed ICC. They think it's Halloween, but it was our corporate colors. Nice. So now I'm excited because I'm actually going to get my own pipe, and it's going to be all ICC'd out. So I'm really, really excited. Amy, hi Amy, we were just talking about you. Your ears were probably burning. If you want to hear all the nice things we said, just play this back from the beginning. So let's talk a little bit about cigars.
Okay.
I know we have Cigar Talk. We've talked and we've done live, but we haven't talked about cigars.
Yeah.
What are you guys smoking?
I'll start. I'm smoking the Bocock World Traveler.
That is the Maduro.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think of the Bocock brothers?
Well, I haven't met them. When they visited here, I was out of town and didn't get to meet them. But I watched the videos, and obviously you and everyone else here at the lounge speaks very highly of them.
Yeah.
And super good dudes. Look forward to meeting them.
Yeah, no, these if they lived in Dallas, they would be members here.
Nice.
That's these guys fit in perfect.
Nice.
Perfect fit.
But they are making a great cigar. It's out of Honduras. Our friends at the Plasencia factory there. Man, it's a great cigar.
Yeah.
And the thing that I've seen is a lot of these new guys, like Jamon with Definition Cigars, their cigars as they spend more time in the business, their cigars get better and better and better. So I'm really looking forward to what these guys have coming in. Sam is smoking a Southern Draw Jacob's Ladder Brimstone. So hopefully you're sitting down and you're drinking some water with that, because that cigar is no joke.
Yeah.
It is loaded with nicotine and will pounce on you. So
I'm almost done with this. I'm smoking the 1880 Oscuro.
Oh, yeah. Phenomenal.
very good. Very good. But I see what you have there. That's you have a Cavalier limited edition. That's just you're just showing off.
Yeah. Well, I figured I would probably need something to finish the show with. So
That's a good call.
Yeah.
So John here says, let's talk about guns too.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about some guns because obviously Cigars and Guns is flowing along on this. This is kind of more the cigar side of things. I'm smoking the Piccardo Family Reserva Connecticut, which as I was looking at this particular cigar, it really got me thinking again. And we talked about it a couple Saturdays at the shop ago. There is a cluster of Connecticut cigars on the street that typically a Connecticut shade wrapper is going to be pretty mild, no flavor, no depth, no complexity. But I'll tell you what, there's what we would call in the bowling game a six-bagger here that is, these cigars are spectacular. Obviously the Piccardo, this cigar is so complex in depth and it has amazing depth. It's not super strong, but no pepper, none of that aggressive oil or anything. I had to actually get up and go lift the box up to just confirm it was a Connecticut, because I've never had a Connecticut that had this much flavor. The Bocock Brothers Connecticut has just exploded. I mean, it has done super, super well. The staple in the humidor, the Crux Epicure, this cigar, you're talking about 6 and 8 year old tobacco. You're talking about a Connecticut shade wrapper that is just, it's beautiful. But this is one you can hand to 100 smokers, and 98 are going to like it, no matter where they're at in the journey. The Jake Wyatt, the appendix to this cigar, particularly for we've talked about the importance of retrohaling through your nose. The Jake Wyatt stuff, guys, if you haven't tried it, odds are if you're outside of Frisco, you haven't tried it, because there are extremely limited distribution, but very, very good. The two shoppers, really, the Grand Habano makes a phenomenal cigar, but the owner is a gentleman named George Rico, and George has his own private blend that he calls Zulu Zulu, and the Zulu Zulu Connecticut is just stop you in your tracks good. Every one of these cigars, anybody can smoke it. Even who was it that was smoking Sam that's smoking the Jacob's Ladder Brimstone. If you ever want to give your palate a break, but you don't want to give up depth and flavor, this is it. And I'm getting confirmation from Jamon, but I'm about 95% sure that the new definition of cigars, I'm calling it the Kermit the Frog. He calls it something that's obviously better.
Yeah, right.
But I call it the Kermit because that's kind of the color of that band.
Yeah.
But this is a brand new cigar. We're the only ones that have it. He has two new ones, a white one and the Kermit. But this cigar is this one's gonna. I thought the 919 would put him on the map, but this cigar,
and
whoa!
And on Saturday, you mentioned that to just a couple of people. and it was gone.
In like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
In fact, I was yelling at Chris, my employee that doesn't work for us, going, "Come on, man, get like 4 or 5 of these things, throw them in a bag before they leave," and they just disappeared. So Jay brought 2 more boxes over to us last night. So that was he was actually a little shocked.
Yeah, they flew out.
So we got Zach coming in, had the Boca Habano the other day. It was absolutely phenomenal. Zach also got a chance to smoke the ICC house stick when he was out there and gave it a great review. And he realized what we realized, that our house stick is a legitimate high-end cigar. Where a lot of companies retailers that create house sticks just buy something in the Dominican for $1.
Yeah.
They sell it for $8 or $9 because they can't make that kind of money on regular cigars. And you're buying value. But this one we set out to blend a really, really good cigar. So the house is really good.
And I love the story behind the mold for it. Its unique shape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's
so that shape is kind of what would be, in a sense, a pyramid, wider at the foot, about a 50 ring gauge that narrows down. So in the mouth, it's about like a Lancero, 44 type ring gauge. It was actually a Davidoff mold, and it was 1 millimeter too small in diameter, so they decided not to use the mold. But molds are not cheap, but they waited for the right project to do that with, and we were fortunate that they did it with us. So that's good. Now there's a question that comes in here. I think it's Pride. Romero is asking, is a Black and Mild a cigar?
No. I say no.
So why would you say no if it's using tobacco?
I mean, tobacco, we'll loosely call that tobacco. The main reason is a lot of people who smoke Black and Milds probably don't smoke it for the cigar that it is. I think they probably cut it and add other tobacco in there.
Add spices.
Yeah. And then smoke it for what it is. To me, it's more of a vehicle.
A vehicle. Yeah, you're probably right. I think there's probably people that just want to get a little cigar blast. Yeah. But it's the same reason that if somebody is drinking this Lone Elm small batch and somebody says, so Jack Daniels, same thing, not the same thing. It's not.
Yeah.
And that's and that's one of the things we talked about with cigars, and we also talked about it with spirits.
Yeah.
If I poured a shot of Oak Cliff, okay, so it's Oak Cliff. It's a long story, but I'm sure that in the barrels are old gym socks. But just to assist in the aging process. But the problem with spirits is you can have this sitting next to a shot of Louis, sitting next to a shot of Oak Cliff, and they look the same.
Yeah.
And this cigar next to a Macanudo looks the same. They're just not. There's such a huge difference. Yeah. And you realize that the finished product looks the same, but the taste is totally different.
Well, the taste, the construction, I mean, everything about it. On a good quality cigar or a good quality liquor, you can tell, not just with the taste, but all of its features are just, there's so much attention to detail, and it is an art or a craft. It's not just, I'm going to go make a cigar tomorrow.
Yeah, and I don't know much about Black and Milds other than that I'm pretty sure they're machine made. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. All these cigars that we're smoking here, everything on the table, and probably 100% of what you have in the humidor is all handmade.
Yeah. Oh no, it is. Yeah. It's funny when people talk about, they'll go on vacation and they're like, man, I got a hand rolled cigar. It's like our whole store's full of hand rolled cigars.
Yeah.
And if you go on a cruise or you go someplace where they are doing hand rolled cigars, I know a lot of guys, they'll smoke it and it becomes the best cigar that they've ever had in their life. And a lot of times that is because they saw the craftsmanship and the artist that's putting that together. So it adds to the experience. So as you're watching it, you smoke it and you go, you know what, that's really, really, that's maybe the best thing I've ever had. simple fact of the matter is the tobacco itself is still wet. I mean, like literally wet.
Yeah.
So it becomes pliable and they can roll around. Those cigars really need to sit for 45 to 60 days just to dry out a little bit. So if you do get a hand-rolled cigar, you buy some hand-rolled cigars on vacation, make sure that you let those things sit for a little while because it will go through a 6 stage.
Yeah.
And that fermentation process will start all over again and it'll get nasty. Let's see. Zach is asking if Jamon sent us some more Kermits. Yes, he did. We just got them back in last night. So, Pride is here. Pride is doing, he asked if mayonnaise, maybe, you think Pride is on the,
I think he's smoking black.
I think Pride is on the Black and Mild right now because he just did like a dig sign. So I think, I guess we should just pay attention with what groups we share this with. So what do you got going on in your neck of the woods there, Adrian?
Just got the shirt club going on. It's going great. Got some good traction there. Received my FFL license, so I'm a licensed gun dealer.
Nice. So you don't have to sell them out of your trunk anymore?
Right, no more meeting in dark alleys.
Nice.
I've already sold a few to some members, so that's great, and business is good and loving life.
Now, aren't you going to a gun event, a Range Rover?
So I'm a member of Land Rover Club here in Texas, and we have an event which is going to be the largest Land Rover event in Texas, probably the world, because there's many throughout the world, and the last couple of years we had like over 120 vehicles show up and probably twice as many people, and that was recorded as the largest Land Rover event.
Wow.
So that'll be next week, the Hill Country Rover Rally, and Marble Falls, Texas will be there. I'm going to hold a range day there, which the golf ball launcher is going to come in pretty handy.
That's going to be.
We're going to do some sporting plays and have real good fun, and it's always a good time with those good people.
That's awesome. And Chris, what do you got going on? You got Tales of the Lounge.
Tales of the Lounge. I'm my real job during the day. Keeps me pretty busy.
What about your fake job on the weekend?
My fake job on the weekends keeps me pretty busy.
We don't pay it because we don't want you to get in trouble with Wells Fargo.
That's right.
We are just trying to make sure that you don't get it.
Well, and since I don't get paid, I don't have to report that job. Because if I was getting paid and I had a part-time job, I would have to report my part-time job.
We're just like the IRS. We're just here to help.
So just here to help. No, but yeah, you even you were able to deliver my donut holes to Alessia Saturday.
Yes,
because you stopped by before heading to that hospital.
That was awesome. So we had a big car show Saturday. From what I understand, it was just packed.
It was
A lot of good. It looked like a lot of good cars. Yeah, that's awesome. Sean Ratz is chiming in. I saw him in here earlier. I was talking to him, but he had his headphones in. He didn't pay attention to me. Pretty sure he heard me, but he wasn't.
Yeah, and then of course, I'm getting ready for Hackfest, so I watch. I watch Caddyshack every day, so I just get into character. So just on a loop.
You literally are in character all day. All day.
From the time I leave the house until the time I get home.
I think it's from the time you leave the house until like 3 days later.
It did last a few days. I'd walk in, the half cups was over, and he was still had the crooked mouth, and he was doing that.
Yeah. So what do you guys got going on out there? What are you guys smoking? What are you drinking? Where are you coming in from? We know we got some people coming in from New Mexico. We know we have some people coming in from Missouri. And of course, we have a lot of people coming in from Dallas tonight. Again, we're Brandonless because he decided to have another child. That's baby number 3, and just a great week.
Let me say that obviously no one knew the sex of the baby. Not even Brandon.
Right.
And it was funny because I was here at the lounge. We were here Saturday. Obviously, y'all were at the hospital. And then you came in and were like, well, and you're like, I know what the baby is, but I can't tell you yet because we were waiting for a residual family to come in.
Right.
I go home, and then Kathleen gets a text, and she sends me. I was in the office, and she sends me a text. It's a girl. I was like, son of a. And then so I look online. I didn't see anything, and then I just so happened Chris texted me. He's like, hey, I know, but I don't know if everyone knows.
Yeah.
He's like, and then I told him I know, and he's like, you dick.
Well, you know, and God bless my child. He, there were some family members outstate that didn't know yet. So I'm actually sending him notes going, can I let people know at the shop they're killing me over there? And he's like, just give me a couple of minutes. So he started making some calls, made those calls, and then he sent me a note and said, you're good to go. So off we went. John Harrison is coming in from South Carolina.
What's up, John?
What firearms are going to be at the range day?
So for the Hack Fest, I'm going to take an F1 AR to shoot the golf balls. The Land Rover event, range day, we're going to do some skeet shooting and some sporting clays. So everyone's bringing a shotgun, and that'll be that event, and we'll throw some golf balls there as well.
Nice.
I change it up every year. Last time we just had an open range day. We had a couple guys with machine guns and a whole plethora of firearms. So, this year's going to be sporting clays.
Awesome. Larry actually reminded me, if you go back and watch Saturday's show, Brandon and I knew that we weren't going to be on the show on Saturday, and Saturday was the car show. So we pre-recorded the show on Wednesday, asked some people to come in. We're all going to pretend that the car show is going on. So, of course, we were doing a lot of, oh, look, I'm retired. And we didn't come clean until about 30 minutes into the show where we said, we're actually not here, this is recorded. But it was fun. I was watching the show from the waiting room, and I'm watching all these comments come in going, I think we're tricking these guys. I think the way they're making these comments.
They were confused.
Even people here were waiting. It's like, where's the show? And then, what? It's on. And like, you're not here.
Yeah. But I saw Sean jump in there. Sean Ratch jumped in there, and he didn't give it away. He knew what was going on, and he didn't give it away. So.
Well, and Wednesday, I was confused all day because I came in Wednesday morning in my Saturday outfit. And then when we got done doing the recording, what do you mean I got to work? It's Saturday.
Yeah.
So I had to go back to work and finish work. So I was like, I was confused all day.
We had to go back to the morning job. But no, so we're really excited about what's happening. Let's talk a little bit about, we'll bounce back to cigars real quick. What are some of the cigars that you've had recently that have just really kind of impressed you?
Well, the new ones that I've smoked recently are two that you already mentioned. This Zulu, Connecticut, I was just thoroughly impressed with. It was a great cigar. And then, you mentioned this on Saturday when you came in, and I went ahead and smoked it and immediately went back in to get more, and they were gone.
Yeah, that happens.
So, and then this one right here, I cracked the box on these limited edition Cavaliers.
Yeah,
this one is.
Yeah, I actually, thanks to Sebastian, the owner of Cavalier Cigars, came into the shop last night. We started talking. We've been working now for about a year to try to create our own limited edition using that blend. Ideally, the one that was a couple years ago that had pre-embargo Cuban tobacco in it.
2019.
And yes, and I actually said, "Can I get that cigar but made in a Toro?" And he just looked at me and just laughed. He's just like, oh, that tobacco's way gone. So I said, look, the way I put it to him is the Cavalier limited edition comes out once a year. He has absolutely nailed it out of the park on every one since 2018. Everyone's been good. I said, so look, we trust you. So he's going to the factory in Honduras, and he's going to go find, and he has his own factory now, so he's not at the mercy of just using what one farmer is delivering. So he's going to go down and look for some special tobacco and see if we can't do limited edition, because we've had 90 boxes that sold out without ever putting them on the floor. This last time we got 46 boxes, and that's because that's all we could get. Every other dealer got 3 or 4.
And guys were fighting in the.
And they were literally, it was like, it looked like, the Furbies were on sale at Christmas at Walmart. So it took off. So we're really excited. It was great to see him. He has not been here for a year and a half. He lost his father. He opened the factory and outdoors. All this stuff that's happening in his life. He's like, he had been traveling, and he's like, I just got to get away. And came up here and hung out with us, and we were able to work on some stuff for the future. So excited about that, and off we go. Zach is talking about some of the cigars here. He had the Cochon Blanc as well, and he said thanks for helping lighting. But when you look at the Cochon Blanc, because the foot is finished on that cigar, it's kind of intimidating. You wonder if you're supposed to cut that off or whatever. But I always pretend like, if you remember the old, when the spacecraft would come back into the atmosphere and the flames coming around, I always just kind of do the burning up on re-entry thing, and that seems to work pretty good. So it's been exciting. But we played golf today, and KO was asking, so what events are coming up? And you got Hackfest coming up. Yeah. We have Luciano, and this is an opportunity. We have these events where the owners of these factories come in, and there are some owners that are, rock stars. Some rock stars in their own mind, but some of them are rock stars. Yeah. And then there are guys that just nerd out on tobacco and have the ability to explain it so normal people would understand it. That's Luciano in a nutshell. He will be here. He has a farm. It's called Ace Prime. They've been doing, one of my new favorite cigars, by the way, is the CHC from Crown Heads. That cigar is really, really special. They're doing that. They did the Mil Diaz. They've been doing, and then they do the Piccardo. This is their farm. This is their cigar. So, but it's going to be a night with him. So we're going to mic him up and let people just talk to him and ask questions, and he's going to be here. We have him for the entire day. I saw his schedule. This dude is flying all over the country. People are trying to get him, tying big events to it. He's just going to come in with us and just hang out and be one of the guys just with a microphone. Sweet. So that's October 13th. And then, of course, Hackfest. November, we do Friendsgiving. And then, of course, first Friday in December will also be the Ugly Sweater.
Go back to October.
Yeah,
back to
October.
Yeah.
What'd you forget in October? At the end of October.
Yeah.
Hackfest.
No, 31st.
End of October.
Oh, what?
Frickstein.
What?
Frickstein. That's a party of
No, why was I thinking end of October is Hackfest?
No. Hackfest is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, Frankenstein Manor.
Yeah, that's
the party.
That's the party of the year. That's the one that gets published in Cigar Knob.
The Cigar Snob publishes pictures 2 years in a row now.
Yeah.
Took double pages 1 year. But to watch 80 people come in, 80 grown-ass adults come in full costume is priceless. This year's is comic book characters. So it doesn't have to be 82 Supermen coming in. It is. I'm looking back at old school stuff. I'm trying to find some old school comic books. And Larry Adams, because he's old as white dog shit like me, he'll remember like Mad Magazine and some of those that were just classics. And then all of a sudden the superhero stuff really started to take off. But I'm hoping that we have some people that get outside of the superhero realm. We're gonna have a lot of Batman and stuff like that. I'm sure.
I don't want to see a bunch of dudes in spandex.
I really don't. That's for sure. But we're working on something very special because that night will be brought to us by Crux Cigars. Crux will be the sponsor for that event. They are creating a cigar for that event, and what's going to be extremely cool about it is the wrapper. There will be a custom label made for that night only. Nice. A custom label. And the outer wrap of that cigar is going to be an actual comic book. So it is going to be really cool. And we've even talked about doing some things like having a cartoonist come in and actually draw you in your costume.
Good idea.
And draw a cartoon of you
like that.
making your super.
Again, bar raised.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Every year with every event here at ICC, going back to Crux and Frickenstein, Sam last year, him and his girlfriend, I mean, they outdid themselves, and they're a great host. And Crux, the way they were dressed was perfect.
Oh,
yeah, Sam did it.
Yeah,
Good
we
job.
came. Last year's was themed as famous dead people.
Yeah.
So he came as Playboy guy, Hugh Hefner,
Yeah, Hugh Hefner.
with like skin falling off his face, and then she came as a murdered Playboy buddy, and he way outkicked his coverage on her too. By the way,
Yeah.
I don't know what he said or what pictures he's got of her, but anyway, they killed it. The year before that, Jeff Hogan, the owner of Crux, and Casey Hogan, their VP, came as Hans and Franz, and those guys, they look amazing. I'm pretty sure they're going to be here this year. So this year's going to be real fun, and then we'll also have a special for the cigar for that evening. So I'm really excited about that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I got my tickets for that, I don't know, 5 months ago when you guys first mentioned it or put it out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. You must have put it out there because as soon as it came out, you jump on it.
You got to.
Yeah.
So it's party of the year for me at least.
But what will be fun is we talk about manufacturers that come in, Hackfest. You're going to have Edgar Coyle driving around a golf cart. We're calling them Mario Karts. But Edgar Coyle will be here. Crown Heads will be here. We have Crux. We have 10 vendors. We have Ken Hamlin. We're launching the Arrival cigar. So Ken Hamlin, former Dallas Cowboy, Pro Bowler. He's launching a cigar called the Arrival, and it's a very, very good cigar. And he will be here on the golf course. So there's going to be it's going to be a star-studded event for sure.
We got a question coming in from Ken, and I'll ask all of you. But he's asking, "What's your favorite cigar?" I'll answer this like I do every time, and it's the one in my hand.
The one that's lit.
Yeah. I mean, I could go and list a few and a handful, and probably some of you guys won't know what they are, but the one in my hand is my favorite at this point.
It's very timely.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a chicken shit way to really answer that question. Because I just created a list of 20 in my head that are my favorites.
And probably,
but in all fairness, you're 100% correct.
Yeah, you are.
The best cigar is the one that's in your hand, as long as you have one in your hand.
Yeah.
I have a top 5. Sometimes I get stuff that knocks on the number 6. It's kind of like golf. There's I got 3 tied for 5th.
Yeah.
But what's your top 5? If you just what's your guess?
I mean, the ones that pop in my head are that Byron Vincianos, the Pitoro XO, the Bellicoso. I used to have the Salomon ahead of the Bacoso, but now the Bacoso is ahead of that.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that little Robusta that we started carrying too is I smoked that the other day as well.
That's really good.
The Aristocrat is my game day cigar.
Yes.
Because I get 4 hours out of that cigar.
4 hours.
4 hours and 28 minutes is the longest I've taken that, and the shortest time I think was at 3 hours and 42 minutes, and that was just because I was nervous and I couldn't quit puffing on it.
Yeah. I smoked one in the second half during the Cowboys game, which it should have lasted me the entire Cowboys game, but I was a little nervous.
The Atabey Duendes.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that I'm talking about that I would get here if I had a special cigar, special event or something. One of the ones that I got brought back from Cuba when we went, 3 years ago now, is the Bellicoso, the
Bolivar
Bellicoso
Fino.
Yeah, that one is. So that's kind of my top 3 or 4 or 5 right there in that.
Yeah, I'm kind of in. Atabey Duende. There's no first, second, third, or fourth, but Atabey Duende, the Byron Venezianos, which is the Torpedo, the Byron has a cigar called the Peak, which just came back in today. So the Peak is in.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, so this is how it works here. And then off of that is the Piccardo XO. Now these are all $35 cigars, but I've smoked the $100 Davidoff. I've smoked the $500 Davidoff.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I would smoke these cigars at $30 anytime. And then the one that's always in there, and we're so fortunate to have some, is the Partagas 160. So that's, that tobacco is from 1972.
I left that one out. I have that one.
Wrapper is 1977, and we can get them, and they're $20. I mean, it's just, that just doesn't happen. So anyway, we've got those, but no, that's, for a cigar smoker, that's really difficult, because the journey is different.
Well, yeah, and that's, when I was a consultant in night trial, and I've been to 60 plus countries and 6 of the 7 continents, people always ask me, well, where was your favorite place? Well, the place I was at the time, kind of like Adrian's answer, whatever cigar I have in my hand. Each one has a different experience, each country or city, different things to see, different culture. So it really depends on, well, what do you want to see? Do you prefer the beach? Do you prefer historical monuments? Do you prefer this? Do you prefer that? So, there are different places I would definitely go back to, other places that I'm glad I got to see, but necessarily don't need to go back to. But each one has its own unique experience and its own quality. And I look at those, like you said, today, Duendes might be my number one, but tomorrow it could be the Partagas 160 or, whatever. So,
but those aren't everyday cigars for me. I mean, I think, my best cigar experience ever was Oliver brought in a box of cigars. Yes. They were from 1880, and he gave cigars to each one of us. And I think it was the combination of smoking something that's that old, that is that good, tastes that good, but it was the holidays. We were all together. We were all sitting in the room, and everybody was having this moment. Yeah. And I remember Anthony Hoskins. He was holding his.
I had a picture in it.
He was holding this the leaf is on fire. His fingers on fire, and he's creating a straw so he could draw on it to get it down to literally the last leaf burning, and he was playing through the pain. So it was really, really cool. So. That, and then I had the La Nacional, which is a 100-year-old pre-embargo Cuban that just tastes spectacular. But a lot of it, and it really goes to the cigar culture. A lot of it is not as much the best cigars that I'm smoking right now. It's who I'm smoking with and what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a lot of times I've smoked great cigars that I didn't even concentrate on it because we're laughing and we're telling stories and everybody's got a story, and if you like that, you're gonna like this. Yeah. And an hour later, an hour and a half later, you're like, oh shit, my cigar's gone. I wonder what that tasted like, But you could tie that experience back to that label and go, that was a great time. Yep. And it's interesting. You talk about travel. We cruise a lot, but all the times that we've cruised. Everywhere that we go, that you get off and you spend a little time, and granted you're not seeing the whole city and the culture and all that stuff. But there's only one place that I would actually say that I would get on a plane and fly there. Out of all the islands and stuff that we've stopped at, which is St. Martin. But everything else, I'm good just getting back on the ship at the end of the day going, all right, we'll see you later. I'm good with that. Yeah. So, that's kind of a different perspective at travel. So one of my best John Harris would say, was one of my best cigar moments was the time I visited Industrial Cigars with Chris and you guys. So is that a day you were on the clock or?
No, I think that was just he'd come in for a weekend and we came up here. I think right after I moved into the house. No, it had to be after that. It was. I think it was a couple years ago. He and his wife and kids jumped in the car spontaneously to take a trip. Didn't tell the kids where they were going. Just told them they were going on a road trip, and then surprised that they didn't know whose door they were knocking on. He said, "Oh, this is my buddy Robert, who's my middle name." So they tentatively knock on the door, and then when I opened the door, the kids were just, super excited to be here. And then, of course, they went to the pool, and then we came up here and had a couple of cigars, and he got to experience the lounge. So it's funny you mention that, because one of my favorite events, you're talking about the experience in the moment. I had two that stand out, and it was on travel trips. But one was in Old San Juan at night, sitting up on the edge of the fort, smoking a cigar with my buddy Christopher and Jeff. We were actually supposed to be in U.S. Virgin Islands, but there was a storm that had come through, and we had to stop in Puerto Rico for one night, and then we could go the next day. And so we had been to Puerto Rico the year before, and we had met some of the people there and kept in touch with them. And after that dinner, we all kind of hung out and smoked a cigar there at night, listening to the waves come in, and just that peaceful and just sitting there having good conversation with good friends and a cigar. That's a cigar moment that really stands out in my mind.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's interesting. I don't think cigarette smokers sit and talk. Where did you have the best cigarette? Well, there was one time I was sitting at work outside freezing my ass off because they won't let you smoke within 40 feet of the door.
It's a
little different experience, but that's a big part of what we do is that amazing culture and the experience that we have.
Quick question from Silverline CA. He's asking where we are. He'd like to come over and tell some more stories with us. So we're from Frisco, Texas. This is Industrial Cigar Company. Look them up on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, we'd love to have you hang out, smoke some cigars, and tell some war stories with you.
Yeah. If you want to tell legitimate war stories, we have other guys here that can tell legitimate war stories as well. There's a number of veterans in here. Yep. Our general manager is a Purple Heart recipient, and there's a lot of retired military in here, and we're big advocates of that. We're actually a Cigar for Warriors collection site. We've sent thousands of cigars to the troops. And it's something that we're very proud to be part of. So, and what was really cool is the kids, when we were back in Nebraska, one of the kids that they used to play with that lived across the street that they grew up with, he sent Brandon a picture, and we would always put the bags of cigars in industrial Ziploc bags. And he was over in Afghanistan, and he was holding an industrial cigar bag that he received one of the cigars from ICC, and it was a kid that they played with when they were 5 years old.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was really good. So Brandon is in. Good to see you, Brandon. Hopefully you got a little nap before you jump in. Brandon, of course, is a new father. Beautiful Leah Presley. With families, you think about this. They honored me with naming Elias, my grandson, Elias David. Mm-hmm. And so now you have our family is so tight that there's no way that they can name a girl after, they would want to do, Begley, they would want to do my mom, they want to do Ale's mom. There's this whole that tribute. Yeah. But I kind of see where they went with Presley, even though Presley's an awesome name. The old joke, and I'm going to use this as my brand, and I may be completely off base with this on your thinking, but as a tribute to my mom, Grandma Mickey, that raised him in a certain. Yeah. So. My mom's story was she slept with Elvis Presley, and I'm his illegitimate son. So on her 50th birthday, we actually had an Elvis Presley impersonator come and deliver $1 million back child support check and surprised her at a deal. So yeah, Elvis is my baby daddy, and so that might have been one of the ways that she gets a little bit of tribute. It's all tied to my father, Elvis Presley. So
awesome.
Yeah, Elvis he owes me some money. He owes me some money. So that's awesome. So hopefully the baby's getting some sleep, and
Yeah.
And therefore, you guys will get some sleep.
Real quick before we sign off, we got a question from Braz989. I am new to cigars. Are there any infused suggestions to start with?
So the question is infused. Are there any infused that they should start with?
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct? Here's my theory. You guys can make your contribution to this. One of the things that we'll ask questions when people come in and we realize that they're brand new into this journey, I think there's this perception that you need to start out with a really mild cigar and probably something that's infused. Infused is typically means it's infused with sugar and it's going to be sweet, and which is going to obviously mask the tobacco flavor. And I don't have a problem with somebody that wants to start with an infused cigar. I mean, we'll ask questions like, do you drink coffee? The reason for that is coffee ignites the same part of your palate as cigar tobacco. Yeah. So if you drink black coffee, you're going to be let down by a weak cigar that's got sugar. You know, and if you're the guy that goes, I'm never putting cream in my coffee, I'm never putting sugar in my coffee, then don't start with an infused cigar. If you're like my wife that orders this mocha latte, floppy, flippin', whatever the hell it is, I have to order it and the text looks like this. Just make sure it's this with double whip, flip flap, no fat, whatever the shit it is. It doesn't taste like coffee. It's just brown milk. And, you know, so for her, she needs something that's got that little bit of sugar, that sweetness, because she's clearly covering up the flavor of coffee. So sugar is going to clearly cover up the flavor of tobacco. The unfortunate thing is that these companies that are doing infused cigars are not, they realize they're covering up the flavor, so they're using really cheap tobacco. Yeah. So the quality of the tobacco is not that good, so the quality of the cigar is not that good. So if I were you and you're just getting started, I would try an infused cigar. I would try a sweet tip cigar. Like we have a Principal Angelique. They take just the tip, dip it in a sweet fluid, put it in your mouth, you lick your lips, you got sugar on your palate, and it's like putting a little bit of sugar in your coffee. But you're gonna have a really high quality cigar. And then try a quality cigar. Something like the Piccardo that I'm smoking right now. Any of these cigars on the table, I would have no problem putting a first-time smoker into any of these cigars. Yeah. But try all three. We went through this experiment with a guy that walked up to the front counter on a Saturday 2 weeks ago and goes, I've never smoked a cigar. My uncle smokes them. My cousin smokes them. I want to try it. Yeah. And that's where we went. We got him infused, so he's going to try it. But I think that ultimately he'll migrate back to either less sweet, a sweet tip, or he's going to go with something that maybe that's a little bit more mild. But even first-time smokers, if you're a black coffee drinker, if you drink espresso, things like that, your palate will be let down if you don't challenge it with a cigar. So, but walk into it. Don't run into a cigar that's going to have some strength or
a Jacob's Ladder.
Like a Jacob's Ladder. Yeah. But the thing that we're going to really steer you away from is a cigar that's loaded with nicotine, because nicotine actually acts as caffeine, and people will smoke cigars and they'll feel that they got nauseous or they felt like they were sick. Well, you get that feeling when you get off a roller coaster too, and that's just everything bumps up with nicotine. So we'll get you something that's going to be really low in nicotine content. But that's kind of where I would guide somebody if they're wondering where to start. But don't think that if you're getting started by default, you have to start with an acid or something that's just ultra sweet, because the impact to your palate, even though it's the sugar kind of dominates, but the bitterness, the scratchiness in the back of your throat, that type of stuff is all happening because of the tobacco itself. Right. It's if you can make a really bad steak taste good if you just cover it with enough gravy and sauce and stuff like that. So, but smoke something of quality. And I'll say this: we just had this conversation the other day. Cigars, like spirits, you know, it would be really easy to go into a restaurant and say, why don't I get that Pappy 25 and let's try that. And that little pour just costs you $350.
Yeah.
So to try what is the best, the cost of entry can be pretty expensive. If you want to try a cognac and drink a Louis, it's going to be super expensive. But the cigars we talked about, what are the best top, you know, in my top 5 that I've ever smoked ever, $30. And you can smoke the best. So spend a little bit of money, try something really good, and then you can work yourself backwards. It's kind of like, this is good, but this other cigar, this Bocock that I smoked for $10, I don't really get the difference yet.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, then smoke the $10.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my advice. What are your guys' thoughts?
No, I'm not big on flavored or infused, but the one you mentioned, the Angelique, the sweet tip cigar, it has grown on me, and I really like that. For me, it's a good Saturday morning cigar to kind of get the day started, because it does have that sweetness on the front, but as you smoke it, it really mellows out. It doesn't stay as sweet when you first light it, because it's just on the tip. And then the other time I'll smoke that is if I've had 3 or 4 cigars throughout the day, and I kind of want to cleanse my palate out, or a heavy dinner and I want a dessert cigar. That's when I'll go to it. And we talked about this last night. 2 weeks ago, I said, all right, you know what? I know I say I don't like these flavored infused cigars. Let me try one of these and make sure that my palate's not there, because I can't really talk about them if I haven't tried them, right? You kind of got to try everything in the humidor. So I tried one of them, and I just, to me, it ruined the experience. It definitely was not higher grade tobacco, and regular tobacco does have a good flavor and taste to it if you have good tobacco.
Right.
And that infused cigar, I couldn't do it. Now I know some people like that, and that's great. That's for them. That's their palate. And hey, that's what you like. Smoke that. But I encourage you to try non-infused or non-flavored cigars if that's what you're used to, just to challenge your palate a little bit. So,
well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this to the next level. Is the person still that asked that question, was it Instagram?
It was Instagram, and obviously they cut you off after an hour, so sorry.
So is he not here?
No.
Shit. Does he have? Oh, so you're off on Instagram. All right. Well, that's too bad. If you happen to bounce over to this on Facebook, DM Adrian at Cigars&Guns, and I'll send you 3 cigars that we just talked about, a sweet tip, and a regular cigar, and I'll send them to you and let you experiment and try them out, and it's on me. So hopefully you hear this. DM
I'll
Adrian.
find him. Yeah.
You'll find him.
Yeah.
Get his address, get it to me, and we'll send you those cigars. And let's get on this journey together, and join us every week on Cigar Talk, and we'll make sure that we get those things. So with that, hopefully next week Brandon will be back.
Yep.
I appreciate you guys jumping in and doing what you guys do, and you know it's easy when I got superstars like this hanging out.
Fun.
Amy, thank you very much for your support, continued support with Lone Elm. Watch what's happening with Hackfest. If you're not in the tournament and you really want to get into this barrel pick, get in the tournament, because that's going to be the way that you're going to have access to it.
It's going to be fun.
Again, congratulations, Brandon. Thank everybody for coming in. We appreciate you guys. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
Cigar
Thanks for
Talk.
joining, guys.
Yeah.
Watch us Saturday at the shop, and we will see you guys Saturday.